Hello people, we are here back at the channels Tapauliao Azul and Super Acadêmico with this week with another part of the reading of this book, New Rules of Sociological Method by Antony Giddens. We're going to the fourth video on this subject. I hope you are enjoying this playlist, and if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel, ring the bells for notifications, and give the like for us for our videos, and also share in comments and take a look at the description for other things that we have to offer as contents. So today I'm going to bring for you in this book the theme of the significance of interpretative sociologies. The significance of interpretative sociologies. Continue with the chapter about ethnomethodology. The chapter 1, some schools of social theory and philosophy. So let's see what highlights I made for this chapter, for this part of the book. In their writing, who's writing? Others. In their writing, Heidegger, Gadamer, Rico, and others, Husserl too, in their writing, existential phenomenology moves considerably closer to the standing point independently involved by the later Wittgenstein. So he's saying, Giddens is saying that these authors goes very close to what Wittgenstein says in his later works, better. So this means that it's taken into account the question of language as the main problem in philosophy in the 20th century, and reaching the other science, the other human sciences. The particular experiential form in which common sense thinking takes cognizance of the social cultural world. So the particular experience of everyone in the common sense are influenced in the social world, in the cultural world. Practical theorizing of lay people cannot merely be dismissed. So as it has been said in the other parts of the book, the common people, lay people, need to be heard in their formulation, in the way that they understand their lives. The centrality of power in social life. Even a transient conversation between two people is a relation of power, to which the participants may bring unequal resources. Of course, this relation of power means that one person can influence the other in a more efficient way, and because they are not equals in the way that they don't have the same kind of abilities of influence, the influence abilities. Well, then it goes to hermeneutics and critical theory, Gadamer, Appel, and Habermas. Jürgen Habermas is an author that I already mentioned in this playlist. He's a German philosopher, very influential in this second half of the 20th century, and even today in the 21st century. He mentions Wittgenstein again with the philosophical investigations, that is his later work, he says that interpretative understanding may be a useful adjunction to social sciences as a source of hypotheses about conduct. So, in the way that I see the interpretative way of looking the society makes sense in the way that the researcher, the social science, is able to make his interpretation alongside with the interpretation of the people about the subject, about the matter, and develop, in this case, that's what he's saying, hypotheses about the problem. That, when you have a big theory, a meta theory about everything, like the Marxian theory or the Weberian theory, you have the first. Now you have first the theory, the big theory, and then you apply this theory to a specific situation. And here it's being valued the way that every person, everyone, including lay people, common people, they interpret the situation. Understanding a text from a historical period, remote from the present, for example, or from a culture very different from our own, is, according to Gadamer, essentially a creative process in which the observer, through penetrating an alien mode of existence, enriches his or her own self-knowledge through coming to grasp the perspective of others. So, in the way, every time that you are in touch with a different culture, you understand better your own culture, since you don't see as a threat to your culture. The understanding of human things, works of art, literary texts, via the hermeneutic circle is not, Gadamer says, to be seen as a method. Rather, it is the ontological process of human discourse in operation, in which, through the meditation of language, life mediates life. No, mediation, sorry. Through the mediation of language, life mediates life. Again, when you exchange information with someone in a different culture, someone different, you tend to learn more about what the other person knows, what the other person believes. So this makes this hermeneutic circle possible. And that's why I think he doesn't see the hermeneutic circle as a method. It's more like a way to be. That's what means to be ontological process of human discourse in operation. Because we are this way. We all are people that communicate with each other. The progress of human self-understanding moves towards freeing individuals from bondage to causality, in which their behavior appears as just another series of events in nature, by expanding the scope of free action. So this statement stands to a way to see the human life, the way that we live, the way that we understand our living in this life, in this planet, in a more meaningful way, not in a metaphysical matter, but in a way that we understand better what we do, because why we do. So this, I think I understood this way. Our actions are more are more acknowledged by us, since we can understand our actions in a way more elaborate than in simple nature. Meaning equivalence, that the interpretation of human product or action is adequate in relation to the intentions of its originator. According to Gadamer, hermeneutics is not a method. We already said that. And it cannot generate accounts that can be adjudged as correct or incorrect in terms of what an author meant to communicate through the text. So when you do the interpretation, it's not like you find the answer you are looking for. You just understand what the the author said. That's why it's interpretative. Interpretative interpretative significance. The meaning of a text does not reside in the communicative intent of its creator, but in the mediation that is established between their work and those who understand it from the context of a different tradition. So he's saying that it's possible for us today to understand something that was wrote centuries, millennia ago, because we are able to connect through this language mediation and practice this interpretation, practice this understanding. That is hermeneutics. It's like a translation in a way. Translation of meaning, not just the words. The circumstance of being written down is basic to the hermeneutic phenomena. A text gains an existence of its own, detached from that of its author. That he's saying that, as I understand, a text is an expression of culture or time, and despite of what the author wanted to say, what we understand must be valued too. What else? He mentions Noam Chomsky, concept of linguistic competence, intersubjective phenomenon. Meanings are not merely abstract features of the linguistic equipment of individual person, but are intersubjectively produced in interaction or dialogue. So he's valuing again the way that we communicate through dialogues. I think I jumped forward something. I think I did that. Sorry. I jump a page. Let's see what's here. I think it's just a reassurance of we already said. No, it doesn't matter. Should not be. Yeah. Yes, okay. Let's not affect the interpretation that we're doing. And finally, in the last page of the chapter, he mentions Habermas, as I said before, the interpretation of intentional action. So all action are intentional. Characterization or identification of acts logically depends upon the identification of the purpose for which they are undertaken. So when a group or people or a person do something, this action has a meaning for them and the ones that are doing, and the others that will see and think about this action will make another interpretation. So this is like a game of interpretation and communication and possibility of self-understanding for the ones that do the action or do the text, the speech, and the ones that listen or see the action. According to Habermas, work and interaction follow rationally. According to Habermas, work and interaction follow rationally reconstructible partners which are logically independent of one another. I think he's saying that everyone that constructs and that makes his own interpretation of his action, of one's action, makes an interpretation that's logically correct on his own, in separate ways, independently of what the other thinks. So when I act in a way that I believe is right in certain situation, or the other person that sees the action or hears about the action may not feel the same, but it will be able to understand. But this understanding is independent from the original action. So this is like the possibility of the interpretation is different from the action, and it's not. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, or the action or the interpretation. It means that are independent. And the last statement: the transformation of nature by human activity, infused solely by instrumental reason. Nor is interaction oriented merely to mutual understanding or consensus, but to the realization of ends, which not infrequently are exclusive of one another. So I think the message here, the main message here about this interpretative significance, it means that every action, everything that happens, everything that we do as people, not necessarily has to be in the same way understood by others, especially the social researcher. So I think it's a good message, because us and we, the social researchers, sociologists, anthropologists, political scientists, even psychologists, we tend to make a interpretation of this of every kind of a situation that involves people in a way that we see from above. We see in a way that we judge what is happening, to make the interpretation, to make the knowledge about it. And what he's saying, Giddens is saying, is that we need to put down our beliefs, our illusions of power, to have this possibility of interpretation about others. So I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video today. I think more 3 or 4 videos I finished this book. I hope you enjoy the playlists, and we see next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channels, and ring the bell for notifications. Take a look at the description below, comments, and share the video. Bye bye.